Hello and welcome to a subvariant update video. So basically in this video what we're going to do is we're going to look at the different variants and subvariants that are in existence right now in the United States and internationally. Because there's some interesting things going on in the data. The United States update today is Tuesday. We get our variant proportion updates each week on Tuesdays. So I thought we would do a video discussing the various different subvariants that are in existence in the United States and around the world. So BA.5 makes up 87.1% of the cases nationally. BA.4 makes up 6.6% of the cases nationally. Then we come down here to that BA.4.6 wildcard variant, as I've been calling it, because it's been gaining ground. And then we come down to BA.2, .12.1. That makes up only about 1.5% of the cases. And BA.2 is almost completely gone. So this is on the national level. And as stated, BA.4.6 is 4.8% of the cases. So let's see about other regions in the country. Here's New England, which would be region 1. And in New England, BA.5 is 88.5%, BA.4 is 5.4%, BA.4.6 is 4.4%, BA.2 is gone, BA.2.12.1 is 1.6%. So as you see here, it's different in each region. How about New Jersey, which would be New Jersey, New York. This also includes Puerto Rico and Virgin Islands. Why Puerto Rico is included in this, I don't know. But check this out. BA.5 is 86.9% of the cases. But look at BA.4.6. It's gaining ground here. 6.3% of the cases. Then you have BA.4, which is 5.2% of the cases. Then we have BA.2, .12.1, which is 1.5%. And BA.2 itself is gone. Alright, coming down to Region 3. This is another one where BA.4.6 has been starting to gain some ground. So BA.5 is 85.1% of the cases, BA.4 is 6.6%, BA.4.6 is 6.5% of the cases. So this is up from last week. And you can see it here on the charts. It is definitely going up compared to last week, but not as much as it did from the previous week. And there's still 1.8% of BA.2, .12.1. And still a teeny tiny amount of BA.2 left. Let's continue to Region 4. We're going to go through all the regions here. Region 4, BA.5 is dominant with 84.9%. BA.4 is 6.8%. But then we come down here to BA.4.6. And yet again, for the 4.6 variant, it is starting to gain some ground. BA.2.12, still 1.6% of the cases, and BA.2 is almost completely gone in this region. Now we come down to Region 5. Yet again, you're going to see something interesting. And that is BA.5, 88.1%, 4, 6.5%, BA.4.6 is 3.9%. So that has gained ground ever so slightly. And there's still the two older variants left here. And now we come down to some more southern states. And the BA.4.6 variant, it's having a harder time growing in southern states. But it did increase ever so slightly. But it's not really taking off down here at the moment. And as we see here, BA.5 is dominant with 87.7% of the cases. 8.4% is BA.4. But BA.4.6 is only 2.5% of the cases. Now comes the interesting one, Region 7. This seems to be where the BA.4.6 variant is having a very easy time growing over the last 2 weeks. BA.5 is only 77.8% of the cases here. But then we come down to the 4.6 variant. Check this out. It's already up to 13.2% of the cases. And in this region, this includes the state of Iowa, Kansas, Missouri, and Nebraska. So I find it very interesting that it's quickly growing in this area. And it's something we're going to have to watch. BA.4 is still in existence with 7.3% of the cases. BA.2.12.1 is 1.6% of the cases, and there's hardly any BA.2 left. Few more regions to get through. Region 8, again, BA.4.6, it's not really taken off here. It's only 2.2% of the cases. The BA.5 variant's 89% of the cases. And there's still some BA.4, which is 6.6% of the cases. Then we come down here to region 9, which this includes Arizona, California, Hawaii, Nevada, and a whole bunch of other small islands. And down here, BA.4.6 is hardly taken over. BA.5 is over almost 91% of the cases here. And finally, we come down to Alaska, Oregon, and Washington, which is region 10. And yet again, BA.4.6, it's not really taken off here. So we know it's taken off in the Midwest, and we know it's gaining traction in the Mid-Atlantic, and just south of New England, it's starting to gain traction. Where else is there BA.4.6 in the world? Well, we know Australia has some of it, because there have been reports indicating it. And if you notice here, they don't list here on, this is Our World in Data, they don't have a listing here for BA.4.6. They just have BA.4, which in Australia, that's 11% of the cases. I don't know what the percent is of BA.4.6, but the interesting thing to watch here in the other countries is, look at this purple color. Here's the BA.2.75, which everyone thinks would be the next wave of concern, variant of concern that becomes our next wave. I'm thinking in the United States, at least for parts of the country, the BA.4.6 variant will probably cause somewhat of a wave before we get into this 2.75 wave. There is definitely going to be a 2.75 wave, and I will show you why. Take a look down here at India, okay? Watch what happens when I set this in motion. So let's just rewind. We're back to February. Now we're coming into March. Remember, it's purple, 2.75. Then along came May. Then June 6, stop. Right there on June 6, 2.75 was just under 1%. That's when it first appeared in India. Watch what has happened ever since. Okay, it got a little stronger there on June 20th. Then it became even more prevalent on July 4th. Then watch what happened as we complete through July. July 18th, 20%. August 1st, 39%. It is quickly going to become the dominant variant in India. Now look up here in Japan. Japan, it's slowly starting to kick in. Australia, it's slowly starting to kick in. And these are just a few countries. Okay, Canada, it's up to 0.18%. And we come down here to the United States. We don't have much of it yet. 0.15%. It's so tiny that it's not showing up on the CDC proportion. However, I think as we go advance another month, at that point, I think at least 50% of our cases in the United States will probably be the 4.6 variant. We're going to start to see an increase in 2.75. And I think as we get later into the fall, that's going to be our wave. That's fall into the late fall, early winter holidays. I think that's going to be what we're going to have to deal with here in the United States. But first, coming back here to the United States again, I think our next wave of concern before that is right here, the BA.4.6 variant. I don't know how high it's going to get in percentage before it eventually gets overtaken by 2.75, but I think it's going to allow for infections to remain at an elevated level here in the United States. And the biggest concern I have here before we end this video is wave spacing is getting shorter and shorter and shorter. We had the BA.2, 0.12, 0.1 variant that came in real quick, just as BA.2 was starting to take off. And right as BA.2, 0.12, 0.1 was peaking, boom, we went right into the BA.5 wave. And unfortunately, it looks like we're about to do it again with the BA.4.6 variant. I mean, what we see going on in the Midwest and what we see going on in the Mid-Atlantic, it's starting to gain traction. Whether it does the same in the rest of the country, remember, in the South and in the West Coast, it's having a hard time taking off. But it's the exact opposite in like the Midwest, Great Lakes, through Mid-Atlantic, where it's really starting to gain traction. And I think that's going to be the case. It's going to allow for elevated cases because remember, schools and colleges are getting ready to go back now. Therefore, it's going to spread easier, especially with back to college. The next 2 weekends, colleges are going back. A lot of moving parts here, and it's going to allow for this to probably take off. But the question then becomes, how long before 2.75 takes over? And my speculation is that's going to probably happen maybe late September and some point in October. But before then, we're definitely headed into a back-to-school wave in the United States. Okay, I know this has been a longer than normal video. Thanks for watching, everyone. Remember to hit the like and subscribe button down below, and I will see you next time. Stay safe.